Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and today we're going to be going over 7 things women do that are green flags. So you guys know I love to make the positive videos. They never do as well, but truthfully, I really don't care because I think it's important to also know the green flags. If you're going to know all the red flags, you better know the green ones too. So prior to filming this video, I asked you guys over on my Instagram story, what are some things women do that you consider a green flag? And I was actually amazed by how many of them were just the bare minimum. Like, I think that really shows where we're at with dating at this point of like, she replied to my message as a green flag. Guys, hang in there. So I had my own list, of course, but really wanted to hear what you guys thought. So I'm gonna read some of those off at the end of the video, so be sure to stick around. But getting right into it. Number one that shocked me to my core, that this is even something that is like rare these days, and that is she shows gratitude and says thank you. So many of you were saying how shocked you are at how many women do not say thank you or show gratitude or appreciation, specifically in situations like if you're paying for her on a first date or you're buying her something. Showing gratitude is so incredibly important, and I think it says a lot about someone's character. I think it's important to let people know that you appreciate their effort and gestures and aren't just entitled to something because you're a woman. If I paid for someone on a first date and they did not show appreciation or say thank you, there would be no second date. And that's simply because nobody wants to be with an entitled princess mentality girl. But getting back to the green flag part here, if she shows appreciation and gratitude and she says thank you, or even if she offers to pay, regardless of if you want her to or not, I think this says a lot about a girl and her character. And I think being thankful and expressing gratitude can go much further than just if you paid for the date or not. It could be, thank you so much for your time, like I had the best time with you, or anything like that, of her thanking you for taking her out or meeting up with her, whatever it is. And even like the longer you date someone, just because you've been together 3 years doesn't mean you shouldn't say thank you when someone buys you something or takes you out for a meal. Like, you should never feel entitled to something just because, you know, you've been with someone for a long time. So I think this one can be true for the talking stages and even into marriage. Number 2, she puts in equal effort. This could be applied to so many different aspects of her life, but I'll just give you a few examples that kind of correlate to you also. The conversations that you have with her. Is she actively engaging with you and asking you questions as well? Or is she just sitting there answering all of your questions and not asking you anything or trying to get to know you? I think it's really important when you're getting to know someone for you to both be asking each other questions and both be showing, interest, genuine interest in each other, because after all, you're trying to get to know them. If she's actively listening to what you have to say and remembering small details about you or things that you said. And then there's just general effort of not necessarily involving you or putting in equal effort with you, but just effort for her life in general. Does she put effort into herself? Does she take care of herself? I'm gonna go over this a little bit later in the video, so I'm not gonna get too in detail with it now, but I do think it's a huge green flag when a girl obviously puts in equal effort with you in the conversations and interacting and all of that, but also to herself. Number 3, we've got open and honest communication. Now, I know this seems obvious, and this is another one of those bare minimum things, but you would be so surprised at how many people are horrible at this. Specifically women here. Communication is so important for a relationship to be healthy, for a relationship to flourish. So if this is something that you're noticing in the beginning, I think this is a great sign and a huge green flag. A great way to notice this is if she isn't, sending you mixed signals or playing all these crazy mind games with you that we see so commonly now with modern dating. Her actions matching her words is a great sign that she is an honest and open communicator. She's not trying to play all these games with you or play hard to get or be toxic or any of that. She's being honest and open about what she wants and what she needs from you and making sure that you guys are on the same page. Another thing here is that she doesn't expect you to be a mind reader or to just know things. She's able to effectively communicate, again, what she wants and what she needs from you. That right there is healthy, mature, and honest communication. Number 4, she speaks positively about others. This right here shows her character big time. And I think it's a green flag when someone is just a rather positive person in general, not even necessarily about if she's, talking about someone or something like that, but just in general. Is she more of a positive person or a negative Nelly who is an energy vampire and constantly sucking the life out of you? If she always has something negative to say about the people in her life or even strangers that she's never met before, this is a red flag. So if she's a girl who is uplifting, says nice things about others, speaks positively about others, whether that be people in her life or people she doesn't know, that is a green flag. And the reason why this is such a window into her character is because if she's constantly saying negative or horrible things about the people in her life or strangers on the internet or whoever it is, this ultimately shows how she feels about herself. And I really do think a healthy relationship starts with you and the way that you feel about yourself. So if you feel so horribly and negative about yourself to where you're always saying negative things about people or being a mean girl or talking bad about people, well, you probably don't feel great about yourself either. And that's a miserable person to date. It is always a projection. So if she's kind and she says positive things about people and she's genuinely just a nice, kind girl, this is a green flag. We don't want to date someone who's little miss gossipy mean girl. We don't got time for that. And going back to what I said about it's always a projection, it's always a projection of how they feel about themselves. And anytime I've come across someone who's always really negative or saying mean things about people or being a bully or just being a mean girl, they always are very insecure, and that starts to trickle into every aspect of their life, not just the way that they talk about strangers or people that they know, right? It trickles into their romantic relationships, and that insecurity typically tends to show itself. So again, I think it's really important to be with a woman who is confident and secure in herself and doesn't feel the need to tear others down. How does she treat the server that's waiting on you at the restaurant? How does she treat the barista that's making her morning coffee? You can learn a lot about someone and their character and how they feel about themselves by the way that they treat other people. Number 5, we've got self-respect and personal development. It is such a green flag when a girl respects herself and puts in the work that it takes to get to where she wants to go in life. Does she have goals for herself? Does she have passions and interests? There are so many points that I could talk about with this one, so I'm going to try my best to keep it short. But really, I think the biggest thing here, and something that is really important when it comes to self-respect and personal development, is do her core life values and morals and goals align with yours? I think that is a huge green flag, and that's going to vary, greatly depending on who you are as a person, what your values are, what your life goals are, all of those things that you need to consider. But do they match up with hers? This is where you can tell if it's a green flag or not. I believe a big part of self-respect is actively working on yourself and putting in effort, as I mentioned earlier in the video. Another part of self-respect could be, does she take care of herself? Does she work out and put in effort to her physical and mental well-being? These are green flags. A lot of people would also hear self-respect and think the way she presents herself, the way she carries herself. Is she posting naked photos on her Instagram account? A lot of you would not align with that, and to that I would agree. I think self-respect and being classy and carrying yourself in a manner that you're proud of is a green flag through and through. So again, make sure that your values and goals and ideas align. I think this is very important. Number 6, she maintains healthy relationships. Is she able to maintain relationships with people in her life, or is she going through friends like hotcakes? A lot of you guys submitted responses about, does she have a healthy relationship with her father, or she respects her parents or has a healthy relationship with her parents. But, we can't always control the cards that we've been given, the cards that we've been dealt, I guess you could say. And I don't think that I would necessarily write someone off because they don't have a relationship with their deadbeat dad who does drugs or is in jail, right? Like, that's not her fault that he turned out that way. And I don't think it's necessarily fair to judge on something so out of her control, I guess. I think a green flag there would be, has she taken the steps to heal herself if there was trauma involved there? I think we all have the ability to grow and evolve and heal regardless of what our background looks like. So again, I wouldn't necessarily write someone off because they don't have a great relationship with their mom or their dad, because that's kind of out of their control sometimes, but more so how they respond and react to that. But I also do think there are a lot of relationships where maintaining them says a lot about her. Does she have friends in her life that have been around for a while? Or again, is she just going through friends like hotcakes? If she's a girl who goes through friends like hotcakes, she probably tells you stories about how she had falling outs with all these people and how she was always the victim in the situation and it was never her fault. But guess what? The common denominator in all of those was her. And I think taking responsibility is a huge green flag in that as well, which I'm going to talk about in my next point. But going back really quickly to this maintaining relationships point, I found that people who are unable to maintain healthy relationships or friendships in their life are often very hard to get along with and often have a lot of work to do in here, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but you got to be willing to put in the work in order to be someone that other people would want to be with, right? And they also say you are most like the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So, if she isn't spending time with anybody, because she doesn't have any friends, because she is hard to get along with, or maybe not the best, well, that says a lot about her. And also, if all of her friends are not the greatest, that could also say some things about her too. So there's a lot to think about here, a lot of nuances, but I do think being able to maintain healthy relationships in her life is a huge green flag. And 7, as I mentioned, is taking responsibility. I think often when you first start dating someone, there's this progression of talking about your life, obviously, your friendships, the relationships you have in your life, maybe the past. And if you notice a common theme where, she's able to take accountability and own up to maybe mistakes that she's made or things that she hasn't done the best, or, doesn't play the victim, I guess is a better way to say it. I think this is a huge green flag, because growth comes from taking responsibility and accountability over your actions. And if a girl is unable to do that, it's something that I consider a huge red flag that I've mentioned in a lot of other videos. So a girl who does not play the victim, who takes responsibility, who apologizes. So many of you wrote into me saying it's a green flag when women are willing to take responsibility and apologize. And to that, I would agree. You do not want to be dating a girl who always plays the victim and thinks that she is perfect and does nothing wrong. This is going to be draining mentally, physically, emotionally for you, and also not allow your relationship to grow, because you can't grow and evolve with someone if they never own up to any of their crap, right? You got to be willing to work on that together and communicate and take accountability and responsibility when you're at fault. So a girl who says, I'm sorry, and apologizes and really just owns up to her mistakes, I think is a very big green flag. All right, guys, that is all I have for 7 things women do that are green flags. Let me know some other green flags down in the comments if I missed anything. What are some green flags that you notice women do in a relationship? And also some green flags that women say. I've often done videos in the past of, if she says this, it's a red flag. If she does this, it's a red flag. So I would love to hear what you guys think about some more green flags, or also feel free to leave red flags down below as well. I think I've done like 3 videos about red flags at this point, because every single video I post, I get more ideas. I put them in a little note on my phone, and we just keep it going. So let me know down below if you guys liked this video or found it helpful. Be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to be in the loop for when I release new content. If you haven't already, be sure to follow me over on Instagram at Courtney Christine Ryan. I love connecting with all of you guys over on there as well. Oh, and I almost forgot. That's where I asked you guys originally to give me your green flags, and I was going to read some of those off to you. So let me look. Someone said, I don't party or drink very much. LOL, it's the simple things that matter. Definite green flag. Yes, totally agree. Treating you with respect. Yep. I would say asking about my own personal interests as well. Yep. Being supportive. Someone said, I haven't had a woman do anything green in years. Let's see. She reads books. She doesn't badmouth others behind their back. Let's see. When she directly says, I'm interested in you and I'd like to pursue something meaningful. A general compliment. And a girl submitted one. She said, my boyfriend says it's a green flag when I do or organize random thoughtful activities for him. That's nice. Being supportive and caring, good communicator, efforts given to her are also reciprocated. The way she treats her parents. Is genuine, reaches out to you, puts in equal effort. Kindness, talking about goals, letting you have time with your friends without getting jealous or spiteful. Yes. Enjoys being feminine and me being masculine, lets me open doors for her, etc. They like kids. A lot of you said things about being feminine or being more maternal and nurturing, which I also think are green flags if that's something that you want in your life as well. There are a ton. So let me know what you guys think down below. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.